Well, after 3 weeks of working with Philadelphia cream cheese, I finally created a masterpiece. Voila! Hi, Leanne DeVold from Wildwood, Missouri. I am so excited that we're finally on week 4 of the Real Women of Philadelphia Challenge because we are at desserts. And I don't know about you, but I am very passionate about my sweets. So today I'm making a fabulous recipe that I've made for years. Of course, I had to tweak it a little bit so we can get it within 1 hour to make it, but I figured it out, and so we're going to start off right now. And I've already washed my hands really well because we're going to get into touching our dough a lot. And actually, we're going to start with my favorite ingredient, 1 stick of butter. So you really want it at room temperature. For the sake of time, I will just pop it in my microwave and warm that up for a second. And what we're doing first is making our crust really quickly. I've already got my oven at 400 degrees, because that's what we're going to bake it at. But as soon as my butter gets melted a little bit, you just kind of want it softened, we're going to add 1 cup of flour to it. And then we need 1 cup of crushed pecans. Now this is going to make our crust. Now of course our fabulous filling part, which is the bulk of our dish, is made with our fabulous Philadelphia cream cheese. Okay, here we go. I've got my butter in here, and we're just going to start to mix that just up a little bit before we start adding in our flour. And you just want this to get really mixed well. You want to make sure your butter is really well mixed in with all your ingredients. But also your pecans have an element of oil to them that actually help with that buttery process also. Let's pour it into our 9 by 13 cake pan. Now my husband always jokes with me that I'm the only person he knows that actually reads the dessert menu before anything else when I'm out to eat. But I always say, you have to know what you're going to save room for when you're ordering your entree. So I do look at the dessert menu first. Quite the wobbly dish today, don't I? We're going to be utilizing fresh strawberries on the very top of our dish. And to me, as long as you have a fruit incorporated into your dessert, you're kind of being healthy. So I'll pop this in the oven and I'll see you back shortly. So while my crust is in the oven baking, I'm going to go ahead and wash up 1 pound of strawberries. And I'll be right back with you on our next step. So now we're going to make our fabulous filling for our Strawberry Delight dessert. This is wonderful. We're going to start off with 8 ounces of our fabulous Philadelphia cream cheese. And I'm going to go ahead and just start mixing that a little bit, get it mixing up. And then what we'll do is we're going to add in 1 cup of sugar. And this is going to make a really nice, sweet cream cheese base. Scrape a little bit off the beaters, but as a little treat for my children, I always let them lick the beaters when I'm finished with this step. So just save that for them. Alrighty. Now, let's take our Cool Whip. And this I've already, if you buy it frozen, my goodness, the lid does not want to come off today. If you buy it frozen, just go ahead and put it in your refrigerator so it's nice and thawed. So go ahead and scoop all that in. And like I said, this is the step where we will just fold the 2 ingredients together so that it remains light and fluffy. Okay, what we're going to do for our strawberries, I have an easy trick for you. Just cut off your tops, and actually I want them dried really well before we use them. But I just take your handy dandy egg slicer and just slice your strawberry through. And then that gives you a perfect little strawberry slice. I like a lot better when they come out a little easier, but we'll pull those out. And then you have perfectly sliced strawberries. So I'll get that out. And as you can see, it just started to slightly brown around the edges. And we're going to leave that setting out for a good 5 minutes. And then I'm actually going to gradually cool it by sticking it into the refrigerator for another 5, and then eventually I'm going to stick it into the freezer before we start putting our layers on there. But this can be a layered Strawberry Delight that you're going to love. Okay, so I've taken my crust out of the freezer now, and to ensure that it stays cool, I've actually put it on top of an ice pack. So we want that to just stay chilled. But first, we're going to take 1 cup of semi-sweet chocolate chips, pop that in the microwave for about a minute, and we just want that to soften up. And what I'll do now is we're going to take our fluffy cream cheese mixture and put that right on top of our crust. And we will just spread this around real well. The chocolate chips, I don't know about you, but I have a small addiction to chocolate. And my day is really not complete unless I've eaten a little bit of chocolate. And my kids have actually said on occasion that if I'm a little cranky, they'll say, "Mom needs some chocolate," and they'll go hunt some down. Okay, I'm going to take a break from spreading that just to show you what we're going to do. Let's see. It's starting to melt real well. Continually stirring. I think that 1 minute might do it for us. Plus, we don't want it overly hot when we use it. So I think that'll work. Okay, I'm going to set that aside for the moment. Another fun thing that we like to do when it's summertime is we're fortunate that where we live there's several fresh strawberry farms. So I'll take the kids out and we'll go fresh strawberry picking, and that is a lot of fun to do. And especially to come home and make desserts like this. It's wonderful. Now, as you see, we have all of our strawberries that we've sliced. And you're just going to layer these on here. You really don't have to go in any particular order at all. But I do like to cover up most of the top layer. Okay, so I've layered up all of my fresh strawberries on our top layer here. And next, for the fun part, our chocolate drizzle. Now, I'm not a chef by any means. I'm just a wife and mom that loves to cook for my family. And so I don't have fancy tools. But all you need for this little trick is to take your melted chocolate, and we're going to put it in a resealable plastic bag. And then what we'll do is we'll end up clipping off one corner. On this particular dish, I kind of like a really light drizzle because you don't want it to get so hard and crunchy on top that you can't really cut into it. So, okay, I know this looks really messy, but it tastes great, and that's all that matters. So let's take our corner and clip that. Okay. And this is something your kids can do because it's a lot of fun. But just kind of squeeze it. You can do all kinds of swirls and twirls, just however you so choose. Just kind of decorate it. And just kind of makes your dish look really fancy and festive. And if you love chocolate covered strawberries, you're going to love my Strawberry Delight because it just has that little taste of chocolate covered strawberries when you first bite into it, and then you get to that wonderful layer of the cream cheese filling. Look at how fancy this dessert looks. At this point, you could go ahead and stick it in your fridge and get that chocolate to really harden, but I want to go ahead and plate this up for you to see. So you want to get all the way through your crust. You know, the first piece is always the hardest to get out. And what I've put on my Royal Ruby plate here is a nice little fresh mint. But you can see this is just a divine dish. I'm going to go ahead and sample it for you so you can see how wonderful it is. You want a little strawberry in every bite. Stay on there. Okay. This is divine. You must indulge yourself and try this recipe because between the nuts and the butter and the crust, our creamy filling with the cream cheese, and then the added chocolate and strawberries on top, this is a wonderful, wonderful dessert. and I hope you try it with your family tonight. Enjoy!